So there are a number of stories related to 2020 voter fraud that we will be covering tomorrow, and I have one for today. And the story is still all about voter fraud for the 2020 election. You might be thinking, wow, David, it's almost June. They must be talking about voter fraud in some local election that was last month. No, they're still talking about recounts, audits, voting machines, about the November 2020 election. OK, Zachary Patrizio from Salon has a wild Twitter thread which outlines how MyPillow CEO and Trump crony Mike Lindell claims to have physically obtained Dominion and Smartmatic voting machines apparently used in the 2020 election. He claims to commit fraud in that election and is hiding the machines around the country, almost like some weird geocaching. Check out this complete absurdity. Zachary Patrizio writing, quote, MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell is now claiming he has not only obtained both Dominion and Smartmatic voting machines, but also has hidden the machines in secret locations around the country. Okay, so that's already bonkers, off the wall stuff. Goes on to say, quote, according to a Mike Lindell assistant who just spoke with Salon, the pillow maven is currently flying somewhere now and is unable to comment on the matter. Then it gets even wilder, saying that, quote, according to public information, I can confirm that Lindell is now flying aboard his private jet, tail number N497SP, which took off from New Bedford, Massachusetts, and appears to be heading west at this time. Unclear if he is traveling with a voting machine. They actually have the receipts from the flights, finding out that, quote, Lindell made a very quick stop at Elmira Corning Airport in Horseheads, New York, and is now on his way back to New Bedford, Massachusetts. Remains unclear if a machine is hiding in Horseheads and why it was such a fast trip. This is almost like a bizarre backwards scavenger hunt of some kind. How much of this new nonsense of Lindell flying around claiming to have voting machines, how much of this is going to come out in the civil suit against Mike Lindell by Dominion Voting Systems, by the way? If he did obtain voting machines, who did he get them from? If you get an extra firm MyPillow pillow and it's a bit too firm, maybe there's a voting machine in there. I received an email from a viewer saying, David, don't you realize what's going on? This is Mike Lindell starting to lay the groundwork for an insanity defense. No. Lindell is a narcissist like Trump. They don't think they can get caught. They don't believe they will get in trouble. Could this be the explanation for the recent UFO UAP stuff that's been much discussed? Could it be Mike Lindell launching voting machines around the skies? No, I don't believe so. Will they ever be done and satisfied with the 2020 election and the voting machine stuff? Probably not. Probably not. But this is the latest. Mike Lindell reportedly now has voting machines in his possession. Really wild times we live in. Really wild and depressing. One of our sponsors today is COVID Rescue Fund. COVID Rescue Fund is helping small business owners who have lost their businesses during COVID. There are over 100,000 small businesses that have had to close their doors since the pandemic began. There are many organizations out there helping businesses who are still open to stay afloat. But COVID Rescue Fund is one of the few organizations working to help businesses reopen who have had to close. COVID Rescue Fund crowdsources funds to provide grants up to $100,000 for these owners to create new businesses. I would implore anyone in my audience to help COVID Rescue Fund in their mission by donating at covidrescuefund.org. All money that you give is going to the mission, not to compensating people who work for the organization. The founders of COVID Rescue Fund are big fans of the David Pakman Show. Let's help them bring back as many small businesses as we can. The link is right underneath this video.